Even right here in the heart of London, there are all sorts of clues that could tell you what season it is. Just driving along the road here, I've seen all sorts of people with their car windows wound down. There are others who are wearing short-sleeved shirts and even shorts. That's because it's really hot today. Plants and trees can also provide you with some good clues, and the best place to go and look for those is either in the garden or perhaps in a park. In this park, which is only a few moments from the city's traffic, the trees are leafy and green. There are plenty of colourful flowers which smell heavenly. It's summer. People in the city come into the park to enjoy the fine summer weather and to have a bit of a rest from their jobs in offices and shops. And out in the countryside, well, there's quite a bit of work going on there too. Here at Rove's farm, it's shearing time. That's when all of these sheep are going to have the thick woolly coat that's kept them warm all winter cut off. Well, you wouldn't want to wear a jumper in the middle of summer, would you? And it doesn't hurt the sheep at all. It's a little bit like you or I having a haircut. It's a miraculous change of clothes here, isn't there? It's a grubby job, this, and it's not something you should try to do. I used to live on a tiny farm where we sheared a handful of sheep with hand clippers. These days they use these powerful electric shears. And as you can see, I've got a long way to go on this particular lady. So let's watch some real professionals at work. Now, David, tell me what you notice when they come out of those pens, first of all. What can you see?
It looks quite rough because they have to put them on the floor and hold them down so they don't get away. And
the shearer has to have the sheep in the right position, doesn't he?
yeah.
But it's so fast that the sheep doesn't really have that much time to worry about being on its back. How long do you think it might take to shear a sheep?
About 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Well, these chaps are so good at it, they can actually shear one of these sheep in just 1 minute. That's pretty fast, isn't it?
Yes.
Hard work. Hannah, while you're watching, what happens to the wool once it's been taken off the sheep?
It gets rolled up.
And then they're putting them in those big bags. And then when it's taken away from the farm, what do you think that wool's going to be made into?
Something.
So you might very well be wearing the wool from one of these sheep next winter. That'd be good, wouldn't it? The long grass in this field is being cut by a mower attached to the back of the tractor so that it lies down and then it'll dry gradually in the sun. Once it's fully dry, it becomes hay. And just over there, there's another machine which is turning the hay. That's called a tedder, and it spreads it and makes sure that it dries well on both sides. Obviously, you need the sun to dry the hay, don't you? So that's where the saying comes from, make hay while the sun shines. Hay like this is fed to the animals on the farm in the winter months, but farmers also grow a different sort of grass that's used to feed us. That's wheat. Wheat is just a type of grass. And when these ears ripen, the seeds of the grass, they're ground up to make flour. And then the flour can be used to make your loaf of bread, biscuits even, and a special sort of wheat is ground up to make pasta, like this spaghetti. It's jolly hot out here in the fields in the summer, but one good place to be is in the cool of the woodland, where animals like dormice might use this hay to make their nests. In this nest, a female dormouse is getting ready for her babies to be born. Watch carefully and you'll see a little dormouse coming out of the hole which is near the mother's tail. It doesn't look anything like the adult dormouse, does it? Just like a little pink jelly bean. But straight away, the mother dormouse starts looking after her baby by licking it to make it clean. At first, young dormice can't see because their eyes are closed, and they only have small flaps of skin for ears. They have no fur, just bare pink skin. But the dormouse babies develop quickly, and after only 4 weeks, they're much bigger. They've grown fur, and they can see and hear. Now they're ready to go exploring. Now, it isn't sunny all summer long. Sometimes on days like today, it pours with rain. And when it does, the best thing that we can do is to get ourselves inside. And I've come here to Stratford Butterfly Farm, not to see the butterflies, but to see some very busy little creatures, bees. Now, summer is the busiest time of the year for bees because they're out collecting pollen and nectar from flowers. And honeybees live in hives. And on sunny days, you can see them coming and going, leaving the hive to go and collect from those flowers. But on a rainy day like today, well, they don't come out very much. But what we can do instead if we go inside is join them inside their hive. This would be what the inside of a hive looks like if you took off the roof and the walls, and one section of a beehive has been very carefully sandwiched between 2 sheets of glass so that we can watch it carefully. I've got Kimberly and Thomas and Edward with me. We're going to see what we can see in this busy hive. What's the first thing you see everywhere, Kimberly?
Thousands of bees.
There are 3,500 of them in there. But if we look very carefully, there's one special bee in here somewhere. Do you know what that is?
The queen bee.
Can you see the queen bee? She's got a little yellow dot of paint on her back. It doesn't hurt her, but it makes it easier for us to find her in all these bees. And how is the queen different from the others?
She's longer.
And she's a slightly different colour too, isn't she, if you look carefully? And what does the queen do when she's wandering around this area of the hive?
She sticks her bottom in and lays an egg.
And she'll lay an egg in each one of these little cells, won't she? When they hatch out of these cells, what are the new bees like?
Some work and some mate with the queen.
So the drone bees are the male bees, aren't there? And there aren't very many of those. And how would you recognise them?
They're hairier and fatter.
Well, what do the worker bees do?
They go and get the pollen nectar and make honey with it.
So they leave out of this pipe at the top here and they go outside, and then when they come back in again, what might they bring with them?
Pollen, nectar.
They've got long tongues which they can put into a flower and fetch the nectar, which is liquid, and they bring it back to the hive in a special stomach. And then they put it into these cells up here, don't they? And then time and again they suck it up and they put it back in, and they suck it up and they put it back in, and gradually it dries because it's mostly water when they collect it from the flower, but eventually it'll concentrate into honey, which is a thick sugary liquid, isn't it? And then when the cell's full, they put a wax cap on it, and that's where they'll store it. Now, the other thing you said that they do is they go and collect pollen. Now, how would a worker bee coming back into this mass of other bees tell all the other workers where to go and find it? Because they can't talk, can they?
Have to do a waggle dance.
Do you think we can see, if we watch carefully, do you think we might be able to watch a bee doing a waggle dance to show all the other bees where to go? Here in London again, I've come out with Sarah and Ziad and Nicola and Nancy, and we've come out to the park. Can anyone tell me why we've come to the park?
To look at summer signs.
And what summer signs are we going to look for first of all, Ziad?
Trees, leaves.
Trees and leaves. Sounds like a pretty good start. Let's see what we can find over here. This is a super tree. Does anybody know what sort of tree it is?
Lime tree. Lime.
It's a lovely lime tree, isn't it? Do you want to feel the leaf, Nicola, and tell me what does it feel like?
Soft.
And anything else?
Thin and light.
It is thin and light, isn't it? All the leaves are on this sort of tree. And what else can you see when you look at the branch?
Little seeds.
Ziad, do you want to hold on to those seeds? What do they feel like?
Soft, hairy, and a little bit hard.
They're like hard little bullets, aren't they? Because they're not ripened yet. The tree's covered in seeds in the middle of summer, but they won't be ripe until the end of summer and almost the autumn. And as well as the seeds, what else do you notice, Nancy, at the top of that bunch of seeds?
Got a wing.
It's got its own little wing, hasn't it? What do you think that might be for?
So it can fly away and plant somewhere else, and so it's not near the tree.
That's right, so that when the seeds fall off, when that little bunch of seeds fall off the main tree, they can just glide away a little bit and land in the sunshine away from the parent tree. Because what would it be like if they landed underneath this tree?
The two trees together.
And it would be very shady, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be able to grow. Let's go and see if we can find some more trees. Well, now you know there are loads of super things to look at in the park in summer, and I think we're just going to sit here and watch this little squirrel a bit more. Bye-bye.